Whether the team has given us the highest of highs or the bluest of blues, we'll cover it all here on Commanders Nightly News. I, of course, am your host, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. Let's get to tonight's lead story. So Washington embarks on their Week 7 matchup at home against the Green Bay Packers. It's Alumni Week. I don't know why you would schedule Homecoming and Alumni Week when Aaron Rodgers, the bad man, is coming to town. Nothing worse than bringing all your family members back to celebrate just to watch you get your ass beat. Now, I don't know if that's going to transpire this particular year, but knowing what the Packers have been in the past, why would you do that? You know, why not make Alumni Week 9 against the Vikings, or why not make it Week 5 against the Titans? Why would you make it Week 7 with Aaron Rodgers coming to town, knowing that the likelihood is he's going to come in here, stroke you for 350 and 3 touchdowns, and leave with a dub? Why would you want to embarrass yourself in front of family and friends? I don't know, but that's besides the point. This is a big game for a number of reasons. I feel like I say that every week because every one of these games, there are only 17 of them. This is not the NBA. There aren't 82. You don't get to get after it again tomorrow night. It's not Major League Baseball. Not 162 of these. You lose one, oh well. You lose two, oh well. It's all right. We can win the next series. That's not how it works in the NFL. You get one of these per week, okay? And there's only 17 of these things total in the regular season, so every one of them counts. We're 2-4. You really don't want to fall to 2-5. I talked about this last night on the Overtime show with the Saints and the Cardinals. No one wanted that. There was 2-4 football teams. Neither of them wanted to fall to 2-5 because it is a tough hole to dig yourself out of. It's not impossible, especially I've talked about the NFC. Not all that strong of a conference. So it's not impossible, but it's highly unlikely that you're going to rally from 2-5 all the way back to, say, 9-8. Okay? It's not impossible, okay? But it's pretty damn tough to do, okay? You would essentially have to win. You would have to win 7 out of your final 10 games to get to 9-8 on the season. And I think ultimately, as bad as we talk about this conference and what it looks like, in order to get your hands on one of the 3 wild cards, I still think you're going to ultimately have to win at least 9 games. Because looking at our division, with the Eagles at 6-0, with the Cowboys at 4-2, and the Giants at 5-1, and we don't know if those teams are going to sustain the level of play that we've seen from them early in the season, but just assume that all 3 of those teams win double-digit games. Well, all 3 of them can't win a division. Someone's going to lose the division, right? And so 2 of those teams probably going to, represent wild cards. You're going to have to win at least 9 to even be in the discussion. You're assuming that the Vikings fall off or the Packers don't, come back, go back to what they've been in the past, and they fall off of a cliff. And the Vikings remain, the team in that division, then you'll be competing with teams like Green Bay and everybody in the NFC West who doesn't win the division. But I said all of that to say this. You don't want to fall to 2-5. That's the point I'm trying to make. If you're serious about having a season, 2-5 is not where you want to be. Okay? So it makes that loss to the Titans that much more hurtful, because had you won that game like you were supposed to, you'd be sitting here at 3-3 with a chance to go over 500 on the season. And whether you won this game or lost it, whether you're 4-3 or 3-4, you're like, hey, we're fine, we're good. But, now you really need this game to get back to 3-4, because if you lose it and you're 2-5, you're sitting there with the Saints. You're sitting there looking around and you're with the Panthers and all these really bad teams around the league, the Lions, and you're saying to yourself, how the hell did we get here? And it's simple. You haven't done the things that winning teams do. You did all of the things that losing teams do. Beat yourself, turn the football over, don't force any turnovers, heavily penalize, don't convert on third downs. All of that shit, that's what bad teams do, and that's what we've done this season. But somehow, some way, we found a way to win last week. We'll see if they turn that winning into momentum and confidence, which then begets more winning, and we'll see if we can start a vicious, flavor delicious cycle of our own. But all I wanted to ask you here during the opening salvo of this show was simply this. What would a Washington win mean to you? What would it mean for this season? Okay? Moving forward against the Green Bay Packers. Nope, they're not the same Packers that we've come to know and love. They're not the Packers that are going to go 13-4, 12-5 automatically right out of the gate. You can go ahead and pencil them in for it. They're not that Packers team. But they're still damn good. They're still led by Aaron Rodgers, and they're still capable of beating your ass. And so what does a win over the Packers mean for the season? Could it just be one win? Is that a signal to you that, hey, this team may be turning it around? What does a win on Sunday mean for the season to you? Conversely, if Washington drops to 2-5 on the season after losing to the Green Bay Packers, what does that mean for you this season? Does it mean, all right, what are we doing? Let's start turning the page. Let's get a look at, Sam Howell. Don't bring back Chase Young. This season's done. Let's just start building for next year. Like, what does a loss against the Packers, dropping this team to 2-5, mean to you? Are you officially putting this season to bed? Have you already done it? Some of you have already put this season to bed and are looking forward to next season. I haven't done that. What would a win against Green Bay in Week 7 mean? And what would a loss mean? I'd love to hear it down in the comment section. Anxious to read what you guys think. And that'll let me know what you feel about this game and the magnitude of it. You may have already punted on the season. Like, this team sucks, man. They're exactly what we thought they were going to be. And so I know a lot of you are excited to see Taylor Heinicke. So I'm expecting you to feel something about this game. Something. And maybe how they lose will influence you. Oh, man, we had a chance to win, but Joey Sly missed the game-winning kick, and we lost the game, 23-21. Should have won it 24-23. I mean, maybe you feel better about that. A loss is a loss is a loss. I don't really give a shit how you get it. It's a loss. Just like a win's a win's a win in the National Football League. And I don't care how it looks. Sign me up for one of those. Sign me up for a tally in the left-hand column any day. I don't care what it looks like. Anyway, leave it down in the comment section. Can't wait to hear your responses. So in other news, we didn't hear from Ron today. Normally we get, a little intimate scrum with Ron and the local media prior to the game, or at least that's what we've been getting the last couple of weeks. Didn't get one today. And so not really much to talk about here, but there is an injury report to put the final touches on for this game in week number 7. So let's take a look. We start with Washington's side of things. Everything that I told you has come to fruition to this point. John Bates, questionable with the hamstring. That's the only thing that I said. I thought he would be out, but he went limited today. He's questionable. I still don't think he's going to play. Told you he wasn't going to play earlier in the week. I'm standing by that. I don't think he's going to play. De'Ami Brown, I told you he wasn't going to play. He's out. He's out. Percy Butler, we saw that he was starting to trend in the right direction. I said, that's great. We're getting one of our better special teams players back. He's not even listed on the injury report. He will play. Tariq Castro-Fields, we talked about him, getting his first opportunity last week against the Bears and already banged up, placed on IR. So he's out of the mix for the foreseeable future. They replaced him on the roster with Khaleke Hudson. And so it is what it is. And Troy Apke is also up on the practice squad, and they may activate him. There's no may. They're going to activate him on Sunday for more depth in the secondary, specifically on special teams, which is what Tariq Castro-Fields represented, a special teams guy. You'll have one of those fiends back out there in trap. Sam Cosmi, finger, he's going to play. All right, he's questionable. He's going to play. Jahan Dotson, hamstring. We talked about this yesterday. Injured the hamstring. Did not practice today. I don't even know why he's questionable. They're holding out hope. I think this is all to do about not wanting to give Green Bay any advantage by knowing that he's already out. You want Green Bay preparing for Jahan Dotson. But the likelihood is he's not going to play on Sunday. They said they're going to see how he feels on Saturday. And then, again on Sunday, they'll probably have him tested pregame. I don't think this dude's playing. And again, if there's any doubt, sit him down. Like, again, I don't want to do this with Jahan Dotson. We did this already with Curtis Samuel. I know he wants to play. I know they want him out there. He's a weapon, all of that good stuff. It's counterproductive. We saw this firsthand last year. If the guy is injured, just let him fully heal. The easiest way to prevent yourself from getting antsy and throwing him out there is to just put him on IR. It gives him a full month. I don't care if he could be ready in 2 weeks. We've seen this movie already. We don't need to go down this road again with a very promising rookie. I don't want to see his rookie season spoiled and ruined by us yo-yoing him in and out of the lineup, dealing with a hamstring all season long. Let it fully heal so that this kid can come back and show us what he's capable of. He's questionable. I don't think he's going to play. Nor should he, honestly speaking. Because if he starts the game, he won't finish it. If you're tweaking it in practice, the likelihood is you're not going to be able to finish 4 quarters of football. When it's not scripted, when someone's trying to take your head off, you're not finishing a full game with a tweaked hammy. So why even put him out there? Why even risk him? We did this all year last year with Curtis Samuel, and how did that turn out for us? William Jackson, the third back, we already talked about it. He wasn't going to play. Logan Thomas, calf, already talked about it. He wasn't going to play. Carson Wentz, we know they're still awaiting news on what they're going to do with him as far as IR. I don't think he's going to be placed on IR. I think he'll be back sooner rather than later. Hell, he could be back for that Week 10 matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll see what happens. And Jonathan Williams, we already talked about him being out of this game as well. So really nothing here to see. Everything that we talked about earlier in the week with guys being out, we already knew this. The one I'm surprised about is John Bates. I didn't expect John Bates to be questionable. I didn't think he would play at all. So shocked to see him potentially able to suit up. He would help us big time in the run game if he's able to go. But as of right now, I'm going to consider him another guy that will probably be out of this game. You go to Green Bay, and much like I told you already with them, nothing here is surprising. David Bakhtiari's been limited all week, but I told you he's played the last 3 weeks. He's going to play again. He's not on the injury report. Randall Cobb is out. We talked about his ankle injury. He's out. Rashawn Gary, full participant all week. We knew he was going to play. Jake Hansen hadn't practiced all week. I said he's probably not going to play in the game. He's not. He's out. Elton Jenkins, I said, look, he played last week. He's banged up, but he's going to play. Didn't practice on Friday. We'll keep an eye on that. Can't be certain, but right now he doesn't have a game status, which means he's playing. Okay, they might have just given him the day off. No reason to put him out there. We know what this guy's capable of. Let's just get him some more rest. So I think he's going to play. Mercedes Lewis, again, 97 years old, nothing other than just veteran rest. He's going to play in the game. Aaron Rodgers' right thumb. I talked about Aaron Rodgers' thumb. It is an issue, but it's not an issue big enough for him to not play in the game. He had it last week. He did have a ball slip out of his hands. So that is something to keep an eye on, but he's playing in the game. And then Christian Watson, I told you, kids missed a ton of time with hamstring. Does this sound familiar to you? We got a guy dealing with a hamstring. They keep trying to put him in the lineup, and then he keeps re-aggravating it. Just let Jahan Dotson sit down. Here's a great example of what not to do with a rookie player that you're trying to get back on the field. Watson should have just been placed on IR, and then they should have brought him back, and maybe he would be playing by now. Instead, every time he seems like he's healthy enough to play, they put him back on the field. He gets injured again, and now he's not playing this week either. So I think they're going to get Samuel Watkins back. I told you guys that already. I think they're going to activate him over the weekend, and he's going to play for the first time in over a month. And I'm not looking forward to that because of our secondary issues right now. Not looking for a veteran player the caliber of a Samuel Watkins, returning to a lineup that is desperate for playmakers in the Green Bay Packers. Not looking forward to him coming back and having an opportunity to help a struggling offense. That said, let's go ahead and get to the game plan. What is it going to take to get a win over the Green Bay Packers and string together our first 2-game win streak of the season? So I've thought long and hard about this game in particular, and watching them against the Jets. Again, it does not look like the Packers that I've seen over the last, 7 years, even going back to the McCarthy years in Green Bay. I've talked about how poor of a coach I believe Mike McCarthy is, and how he pretty much had it on autopilot because of Aaron Rodgers. Even those teams didn't look as bad as the team I saw. That's part of the reason why it was the largest home loss and defeat Aaron Rodgers has sustained in his career as a starter, where he started all 4 quarters of football. It was an ass thrashing, and the Packers really aided and abetted the New York Jets in securing the victory at Lambeau Field. So this is not the Packers that you fear, that you quiver in your boots knowing they're coming to town. This is not that same Packers team. They are vulnerable. You know what I liken it to, though? I liken it to the Chiefs coming to FedEx last year. Remember, they were struggling. They had just got mollywopped by the Titans the week prior. Everyone wanted to know what's wrong with the Chiefs. They turning the football over. And we actually picked Mahomes off twice, and they fumbled in the first half. We had 3 turnovers forced against the Chiefs in the first half, and we were only up 13-10. But nonetheless, they were struggling, and they came in here, and they struggled in the first half, and we had opportunities. And then Taylor Heineke showed his ass in the second half, and they ran away and hid and beat us up pretty good, 31-13. Don't think we scored a single point in the second half. Dustin Hopkins missed the field goal, if you recall. That was his last miss in Washington. They cut him after the game was over because it felt like the game changed on that missed field goal. We would have went up 16-10. Instead, it was 13-10, and the Chiefs took that miss, great field position, scored, got the football back, scored again. Heineke got picked off. They scored again, and next thing you know, it was 31-13, and that was the final score. But we were in that game. This is what this game feels like to me. Struggling Packers team, losers of 2 straight. When's the last time Aaron Rodgers has lost 3 games in a row? Not hurt, not compromised, just, and when I say hurt or compromised, I'm talking like a knee. There was one year he played with a terrible ankle injury, a bad knee, all that good stuff. He could barely move around, and they struggled that year because it wasn't the same active, mobile Aaron Rodgers, but he tried to gut it out. That's not what we're dealing with here. He's perfectly fine with his lower extremities, okay? He can still sling it. That thumb is not as bothersome to the point where he can't beat Aaron Rodgers. There was a throw in that game last week to Allen Lazard down the sideline where you just go, damn it, Aaron Rodgers is a damn beast, okay? So he's still slinging it with the best of them in the league. So there's no excuses. They're just not playing well, okay? They missed Devontae Adams, but they're not playing well. Offensively and defensively. Like I said, the Jets rookie running back, Breece Hall, ran for over 130 yards in that ball game. The Packers are struggling, not just offensively, but defensively as well. Yet, we are the type of team that allows you to get your shit together. Normally, when you're struggling and you need help, you go see the doc, and the doc writes you a script for a garbage team that you'll take advantage of to get your shit together. We're normally the team that the doc writes the script for. The Texans, Washington, Carolina. Hey, go see the Panthers. Go see the Texans. Go see the Commanders and come back next week and tell me how you feel. Okay? And so in order for us to not be the antidote for the Green Bay Packers, here's what needs to happen. Number 1, we have to stop their rushing attack. That's when they've been their most prolific this season. When they're able to run the football, they are not unstoppable, but they're as close to the Packers of old that we're used to seeing win 13 in games, 12 games. They're a lot closer to that team when they're running it effectively than Aaron Rodgers having to drop back and sling it 37 times. They really don't want to do that anymore. They're a different team without Devontae Adams, okay? With all of these young guys and some of the timing and rhythm being off right now, they much rather just run the football and kind of play off of that. And if you can take that away and you can that's what the Jets did. The Jets took their rushing attack away and forced Aaron Rodgers to beat them, and then they beat the shit out of Aaron Rodgers, okay? Hit him 9 times, sacked him 4 times. He fumbled the football. He was erratic with some throws because of pressure. They beat him up, okay? But it started with them stopping the run first and forcing them into 3rd and longs and then getting after Aaron Rodgers and hitting him, sacking him. So we got to stop the run. All right, I'm telling you that right now. We have to stop the run. Another thing that the Jets did was they limited the explosives. That's something we struggle with. Every week we give up at least one big play. Normally it's multiple big plays, 2 or 3. All right, last week we gave up the big 61-yard run. All right, then you gave up the long touchdown pass on the 12 men on the field. Free play. Okay. Every week it's something else. Then you give up the big Justin Fields 39-yard run. Like, we got to stop giving up these massive plays that put teams in positions to score points. You know, again, the Titans game the week prior, we're doing everything we need to do defensively, and we give up a 71-yard, completion, or 60, I think it was 64-yard completion, 62 yards, and allow them to score what ultimately turned into the game-winning touchdown. We didn't know it at the time, but it ended up being the game-winning touchdown. Like, we have to stop giving up big plays, and we know Aaron Rodgers is going to be looking for some big plays. And no, more likely than not, we will oblige. We will give up at least 1 or 2. If we can limit those, we'll give ourselves a chance. Got to take care of the football. I can't stress this enough. This is a Packers team that's struggling right now. And the best way to ail a struggling football team, the best way for an ailing team, a struggling team, to get back on track is to force turnovers, to create short fields, to make it easier on themselves. We don't want to help them out. They're struggling. Continue to let them struggle by forcing them to have to continuously make plays on third down, and get off the field and force us to punt. Make them have to drive the length of the field. Aaron Rodgers is good enough as is. Don't give him a short field. He doesn't need our help. Okay? So that's another thing. We got to convert on third. First of all, we need to run the football. I can't stress that enough. We need to run the football, but more importantly, it doesn't even have to be the run that's the catalyst. But I think it will be if we're going to get back to what we want to do. I think we're going to have to run the football. But the biggest thing that we need to do is we need to be more prolific on first and second down to set up third and shorts. That was one of the real big talking points early in the season. Kind of got away from that because third downs, didn't feel like that big of an issue early in the season. So I got away from talking about winning first and second down and putting yourself. And look, you don't even have to convert third downs if you're converting first downs on first downs or first downs on second down. It's allowed. You don't have to wait to third down to convert for a first down. You can convert a first down on first down or a first down on second down. So I'd like to see us be more proficient on first and second down. Even if that's a 4-yard Brian Robinson run on first down and then a 3-yard Brian Robinson run on second down, now it's 3rd and 3. We got to convert that. I'd like to see us stay ahead of the sticks and down in distance and be in advantageous situations. We got to find a way to be more prolific on first and second downs, which then leads to the next point. We got to convert third downs. We have to sustain offense. It is a bad idea to continuously put our defense on the field against Aaron Rodgers. You keep giving Aaron Rodgers the football, guess what? Eventually, if he's struggling, he's going to figure it out. He's going to make a throw or two, and they're going to score points. So it is imperative that we sustain offense. I'm going to say this right now, because I think this is the single biggest thing that has to be done in this game in order for us to have a chance. And, we could talk about red zone efficiency. I talk about that every week. We could talk about third down offense, third down defense. We talk about that every week. Those are big things. Turnovers, that goes without saying. That's every single week. That there will never be a week where turnovers aren't a topic of discussion, nor are important. It's always going to be important to protect the Duke. So that's not something that I have to say. You guys should already know that without me even saying it. Don't turn the football over. Be nice to get a turnover, but if you don't, just don't turn it over. Play a clean football game. But to me, the biggest thing that we have to do in order to beat the Green Bay Packers, and I've said it already, I'm just going to reiterate it so you know how important it is we have to get to Aaron Rodgers. I think we're going to stop them from running the football. Last year, when we played the Packers, we set the tone early by getting to Rodgers early and often, and I don't think he had a great game against us. I don't think he had a great game. We had opportunities. They beat us 24-10 in that game, and it was 7-7 midway through the second quarter, and we were right there in that ball game. And we gave up a touchdown right before halftime. We scored a field goal, and then we gave up a touchdown right before halftime. They took a 14-10 lead, and then we turned it over the very first possession of halftime, of the second half, and they scored a touchdown. And just like that, it was 21, and they ultimately beat us 24-10. We got in the red zone 5 times against the Packers last year. Heineke played his ass off in that game, but this is the thing. I know Taylor Heineke, and I know what he's capable of. And in that game against Green Bay, you saw the best of Taylor Heineke. You saw the worst of Taylor Heineke. And that's the thing that has me worried, is because I don't know what to expect. He's excited. He's amped up. I expect him to come out full of energy and life. And I expect him to make a couple of plays that injects life into this team and gets them fired up. But they're going to have to play consistent football for 4 quarters to give us a chance. He's going to have to be consistent. He's going to have to limit the mistakes. He's going to have to find a way to do the little things like extend a play on 3rd and 4 and get 5 with his legs, or, find a guy open out in the flats as he's rolling out to his right, and finding a guy that's, trying to come back to the football and hitting him on a 3rd and 7. Like, he's going to have to find ways to manipulate this Packers defense and continue to keep drives alive. But last year, he had over 90 yards rushing against the Packers. It was his most effective rushing performance. He drove us up and down the field. We had 5 red zone trips in that game. But he threw an interception. He had the dive into the end zone that they called him giving himself up. Then he failed to convert on a quarterback sneak. We had an Antonio Gibson fumble in that game in the red zone. We had a field goal blocked in that game. And then we made a field goal. We were 0 of 5 in the red zone last season against the Green Bay Packers. We have to make sure that if we get opportunities to score, we do so. Whether it's a touchdown or a field goal, you want touchdowns, obviously, but if it's a field goal, it's a field goal. Get points. The Packers are struggling to score right now. Get points on the scoreboard. Put pressure on them to have to keep pace. No slow starts, okay? Don't want to find yourself down 10-0, 14-0. We've already proven we're not a great come-from-behind team. So let's not put ourselves in a big hole. All right, so I said all of that to say this. Here's my final outcome for the game. I'm done with the, blind faith. I did enough of that early in the season, and you guys know, if you've been watching me for a long enough time, some of you you're new to the channel, so you don't really know how I operate. You think I pick Washington to win every week, and I'm always, go team. No, this is the wrong channel. Okay. Usually I am hoping for the best, but expecting the worst. Okay. That's how I'm wired. That's how this team is wired my brain to think. I hope that we win, but I'm not expecting it. I hope we win, but I expect to lose. That's usually how I go into most games with this football team. This year, I went in hoping for the best, but expecting for us to win. And that's why I was so disappointed when we started the season off 1-4. That Titans game, why it hurt so much, I was expecting to win. We were the better team. We just didn't find a way to get it done. So I know Heineke's going to inject life. I think he's going to be more efficient offensively. He's going to give us a chance offensively. I like all of the things he brings to the table. This Packers team is vulnerable and there for the taking. All of that stuff exists. But I don't see Aaron Rodgers losing 3 games in a row. I don't see the Packers coming in here fearing us. They probably looking at us like food and feeling like, hey, we got to get right. And this is a get right game, so let's take advantage of it. I see us having opportunities, but not seizing them because we're not there yet as a football team. And that's frustrating. Until they show me, I'm not going to give them the benefit of the doubt any longer this season. They've already wrecked me enough. So I'm back to my old ways now. You want me to believe? Show me. Make a believer out of me. Because right now, I think you're fraudulent. Your 2-4 record says that you're not a good football team. I believe that. You're not a good football team. So you want me to believe you're a good football team? Go out and show me. Don't tell me what you're going to do. Show me. Packers 26, Commanders 17. We haven't scored 20 points since week 2. Let that sink in for a second. We haven't scored 20 points in any given game. We're back to that shit again. You want me to believe you're capable of scoring 20 some odd points? Show me. I'm not predicting that we're scoring 20 points until you show me you're capable of scoring 20 plus points in a game. Haven't seen that in over a month. So, and I get it. New quarterback, new opportunities. All of that is fine and dandy. Show me. Don't tell me. Show me. Can we stop Aaron Rodgers? This is the best this defensive line has looked in a long time. Was that just the byproduct of playing the Titans and the Bears, two lackluster offenses? Or are you guys really playing at this kind of level? Show me. Don't tell me. Show me. This is a beat-up Packers offensive line that doesn't know if they're coming or going. Some of these guys are turnstiles. Run right by their ass like the Jets did and get the shit done. Do I trust you to do that? No, I do not. Not for 4 quarters. Maybe there's a flash here and a flash there. But not for 4 quarters consistently. No. Show me. Don't tell me. Show me. I'm Glenn Jones. Show me. Show me what you're gonna do. Show me. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. Packers 26, Commanders 17. What says you? Leave it down in the comment section. Scoring more. Can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. Boy, I hope I'm wrong, and I hope at the end of this game, somewhere around 4:17 Sunday afternoon, Eastern Standard Time, I'm talking about Washington being 3-4 in the season. Something tells me I'll be talking about them being 2-5, however. It's going to do it for me, your man Louie T here on Commanders Nightly News. Looking forward to chopping it up with you guys on the post-game show. Hopefully we'll be talking about a win. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, you guys take care. Enjoy your weekend. And also, have a good one.
Here comes the diesel. Here comes the diesel. There's the snap. Hand to Riggins. Good hold. He's got the first down to the 40. He's gone. The 35, the 30, the 20. He's gone. He's gone. Touchdown.